shoot. Hello, I forgot to turn my camera on. Let's see here. Well, anyway, how's everybody doing? I've been looking for the ultimate of train simulators, and as you know, I've got Tane and 2009 Tane, Train Simulator 2018, Train Sim World, and now I've come up with the Run8. Let me go ahead and start that back up. And when you get this, you get it from this website right here, run8studios.com. And they give you Run8 version 2. You buy it, it's like $50. And they give you a nice little layout. I mean, it's based on real life. The guys that, as I understand it, developed this actually drive trains for a living. So they drive these routes, and so they know these routes, I guess, like the back of their hand. So they're very realistic. They got the updates that you can get as well. You can scroll through here. This is your dispatcher, train sets, and so on. So when you get this installed, then you want to do your updates. You want to come in here. So you're going to want to get the, well, for me, as of October 6th, 2018, this is the update that you're really going to be worrying about. You want to make sure you get that one, which you click right here at the end. Okay, that'll update everything from July up to July of 2018. Then you will want to get this one right here, get that one, and get this one. So those three. Now you don't get the A line. You have to buy the A line, which is this right here. Whoops, which is this one right here. If you do buy it, then you're going to want to get the update again. And each of these updates are right here at the end of the sentence, like right there, right here. You just click on those spots and you'll get those updates. You don't have to worry about version 1 updates, because if you're just getting it, you're going to be version 2 anyway. So another thing you might want to look at, they got different routes. And like I said, you can get the Waycross, $40, the San Bernardino, $40. Some of these are pretty expensive, I mean, in comparison to some of the other ones. But I tell you, if you're looking for realistic, advanced, this is definitely for the advanced. This is the one that you'd want to go. You can buy train sets dealing with Amtrak Heritage, $20, and Fleet 2, Pack 1, 15, 20, 10. You can get some of these cars. They do have your basic cars, and I'll show you in a minute. I don't see, and I've mentioned it to some people, one person in particular, I should say, I mentioned it, and he drives trains for a living, or he's retired, but he did, and he's on the board or something dealing with the development of this. He said they are having some new stuff coming. He can't say what, but it's going to be nice. But what they don't have are switch engines. And me personally, I've been on a switch engine as a child, and I remember it. My grandfather worked for the railroad, and I remember it. And so, they don't have any switch engines, sadly. But so different kinds of trains and stuff that you can get. About us, community, press relations, and so on and so on. Now this again is really advanced, and now if you want to go to let's see, was it updates? Where's that? Where is that? Community maybe? Yeah, well, you go to community and they got your servers that you can run live on. Now they got two different types of servers. What I was looking for was that dashboard, dispatch board. But anyway, since I'm here, you got the depot, run8servers.com, highball, run8, and the crossbook, TSCAD Train Simulator Computer Aided Dispatch for Run 8. Excuse me. I'm not sure if that's out yet or if it's still. I think it might be, or it's about to get released. I know they were talking about it in the forums. Me personally, I'm with the depot, which is right here. And this is where I haven't saved that. It's pretty cool because you can actually calculate how many locomotives you needed for the train, how much horsepower each one can put out with the total combined horsepower. These are the guys that actually make Run8. It is not Microsoft. It's actually developed by these guys here. Forums, references, train symbols, destination tags. I mean, this thing has everything, including your signal rules, forms, rolling stock databases. Download. There's, they got an external dispatcher, which I have. They got some horns, Run8 content, maps. They got tons of maps that I would highly recommend. Highly recommend that you download them if you're going to get this game, because they will come in handy. I mean, you look at SoCal over. Oh wait, that's the download. I don't want to download it. But you got most of this is on the West Coast, but you do have a few like the CSX Selkirk, which is East Coast. I think Waycross is over there. I think. And I think A-Line might be over there. I'm not sure. I know this is on the East Coast. But these are very detailed maps. In fact, I can bring up and show you some maps. Anyway, when you come to the home, this one has two different sessions that you can do. Now realize you don't have to play multiplayer. You can play single player in this. Okay, these are the two that you'll come with, and the installed routes. Just straight on purchase. If you have Route 1, you can import it, but I don't. So let's get back over here. The main one you're going to want to start out with, the one you're going to have to start out with, is this right here. If you want to do multiplayer, and that's this information right here. They also use TeamSpeak. In order to get into the Plus series, you actually have to take a test. It's a check ride. And these are guys that, again, they work on the railroad in real life. They know the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs, the do's and the don'ts. And you know, it's friendly, but you do have to pass a check ride. I haven't even tried for the check ride yet. I'm still learning a lot myself. But you can look, it's the Depot Plus servers. You won't be able to get in there until you can pass the check ride. Now what you can do is get with some of the drivers in there and do a ride along as a crew member in order to learn the layout and get the experience. The maps are all going to be the same no matter what. Whether you're playing by yourself, single player, whether you're playing on this server, this server, it doesn't matter. All the maps are going to be the same. The layouts are going to be exactly the same. But I wanted to show you that, and then like let me pop this up right here, maps, and see, you can see like let's go ahead and pull up Mojave. This is all the Mojave Desert maps. There's Bakersfield Yard, the arrival, departure, the interchange, you know, everything. UP Bakersfield, Bakersfield Amtrak. Yeah, I didn't know that they had this, the 25 mile per hour quiet zone, no horn, all the way back to Kern. It comes in here off the main line. Actually did this one yesterday coming down, and I'd heard them talk about it, but I didn't know they actually had quiet zones. Apparently they do. And this is based off of real life. You got your dispatcher tones, everything. Interstate restaurant flag, current tractor, drilling fluid down here, some drop offs. You got measurements on each one of these tracks as to how long they are. Track 1 and track 2, they both go in different directions, so unless otherwise specified, you will want to follow that direction. Sometimes you'll have to cross over in order to, say, like if you're on the north track heading north, and you need to get over onto here like I had to do. Well, I came over, dropped down across here, came over and dropped down, and then slowly continued on to where I needed to go down here in Bakersfield. I mean, it's extremely detailed. All your mile markers, the streets, your defect detectors. Oh, the defect detectors are random. Most of the time, it counts their axles. Everything is fine, but I have had a time pop up where it stop your train, you are dragging, or you have equipment drag, or something like that. And I quickly had to stop my train. Of course, I'm really heavy. I'm over a mile long and well over 6,000 tons. And I had 6 locomotives, and yeah, it was going through the mountains. Yeah, it was a bit. And I got it stopped, and then you literally have to walk down and find what's hanging off. And there'll be you'll see it. It's color coordinated, and you'll see it's hanging down kind of low, and you're like, oh, what's this? And you click on the boxcar, and you click OK, clear, and then you continue down the train in case there's anything else. And you walk the whole train all the way down because you got to find anything else that might be hanging down. So yeah, these detectors will sporadically spawn defects or something. The trains can overheat, axles can break, you can break the couplers, the knuckles. I mean, this is really advanced stuff, and you have to fix all this stuff. The summits, what percent incline, decline, on these maps, 1.2 up. I mean, this is just one map here, and this is from the website. This is not included in the game. Barstow. Inspection yards, fueling yards. This is Yermo. I mean, upper or UP Yermo, Union Pacific, Mojave, all the way down. I mean, there's a lot. This, like I said, this is just one. All of these are maps. Okay, so you're going to want to get all of these maps, including one for the East Coast right there. So I'm going to minimize this, and I don't believe I'll just minimize this for now. I believe I'm going to need it. So for right now, I mean, you just left click. Let's see, that's the one for the East Coast. CSX Mohawk, CSX Selkirk, because CSX runs both. And I'll go click scenario. Well, normally it will start right here. The extra boards, let me explain how this works. The extra boards, these are, again, all your tracks are always going to be the same. Oh yeah, and you will be questioned about the signal aspects, and I'll show you that. I forgot to mention that. Let's see, let's go back up. Signal aspects, okay. So you have to know these on that check ride. You have to know what each one of these mean because they're going to ask you. And what is your approach limited for the BNSF? What is your approach limited for the UP? What is it for the CSX? Depending on which train you're driving. Well, if they're all here, here's BNSF, here's UPRR, Union Pacific. For sure, UP, CSX. This one right here has both of these combined together. CSX here is different, as you can see. So you have to know what these are if you're planning on doing the plus route. Well, I have them printed up, so I can just real quickly grab it. I don't have the CS, or do I? Let me look here. I think I do. Yeah, I do. I have the CSX right here. Signal rules, and they're formerly the Conrail lines. CSX standard rules, and former SCL and C and O lines. And then I also had the UP and Burlington Northern Santa Fe signal sheets right here. And it also talks about the Utah Transit Authority front runner aspects and indications. I don't think we have to know that, but you definitely are going to have to know this stuff here. Now, let me show you one other thing. There are no real tutorials. So you go to here, we go to Run8 Studios, Run8 Simulator. Okay, user guides. And that starts with right here, that's these. And these down here as well, of course. So those are all your user guides. Now it does have 2 videos. How to save a train and how to load a train. And that's it. So you actually have to learn how to configure and using industry tags, configuring humps, configuring options, AI crews. The AI trains, they're not at all. They're nothing like N3V or Dovetail. These trains will only go from, as long as the light is green, you cannot set a destination. So they'll just go. Dispatch screen, how to use the dispatch screen. Here's another thing. The switch, the keyboard layout is intense, very intense. Consist editor. You can use a the rail, what you call it, thingy that you plug into your computer, rail driver, and it'll configure for that. So this is you got the extra board. I'll get into the other. And I was messing around up here, and I made one there. I don't know. But these are all empty. There's no trains out there at all, except I put one on there. Then you got it by train. Again, there's no descriptions. And then my first train I'd ever done, Highland Siding, I just left it there. Then I made another one right here, the LCal 0611, San Bernardino to, I guess, I don't know, SBA, Bakersfield? I don't know. It's just 6 locomotives, and I'm just going to run them over to another place, and that's it. That's all that's there. Then you have what's called the world. Now, the world will give you scenarios that you can do. And this is one that I've done, the LCal 1161. And again, you got to find it on the map. Where is it? Holy crap. The keyboard layout is like really intense. Barstow hump, thunder. So you got to know what a lot of this is. You know, what train is which, the Edison loco. You got to run the Edison. Where is loco? Well, right control plus L will bring up the work order, just as an example. Then you got your autosave. So let's just go to Busy Barstow. I'm just going to go here. Well, I want to do this one. Yeah, well, I don't go through, do I go through any detectors? I don't remember. Mojave Helper, Southern Pacific, WC. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. It's kind of a longer one, but I'll do this one. Okay. Now I will start doing tutorials. Where am I at? Oh, okay, that's right. For a second there, I was having a like, so everything is loading in. There's going to be 394. Well, these all spawn in increments of 10. It automatically removes things that are gone or missing, broken. Those are those SPs over here. In fact, let's just go walk over. You can walk. You actually are an avatar out here. South Mojave. Trains will spawn there in a minute. This would be the Run8 Railroad. Basically, it's Southern Pacific, I think, type, or was it GP40 SD40 T2. You can see it right here, SD40 T2. You can walk, run, you can fly by pressing the left shift button and the function 12 key. And now you can fly. You can go really fast by holding down the control and the WASD keys, which is what I use for moving. Then press the F12 by itself and you're back on the ground. So here's a couple of trains. That particular train right there is the one that we're going to be taking. This one here now, one of the AIs here. These are AI at the moment, and you can see by the names that's on them. You got Artie Esider, who is the engineer, and Andrew Indorf on this one, who is the brakeman. ES44, 4400. Let's take a look. We'll run down here real quick. Runs to northern Santa Fe. Again, 4400s. They got all kinds. Again, you have to know your signal lights, what the different signal combinations mean for which railroad. Now I'm going to press the function 3 key. And this will work same thing if I have the external editor, except I would have it over on another side. And just kind of scrolling through. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of dispatcher boards or DB boards. And you'll notice here that they have radio stations, the channel, and the dispatch channel as well. So each one is different. You got all your line outs, your switches. You put your mouse over it and you'll see it's normal. R is for reverse, or like for Amtrak. Amtrak has to use the reverse. You'll switch this one to pull into the Amtrak station. Otherwise you're going to bypass it, which you'd want to do. I've run this one a lot, and in fact this is the one that I'm probably going to be needles. Is it this one? No, it's not. I gotta remember that. Barstow receiving. Caliente. Okay, Mojave. So I'm gonna actually be starting out right up in here on this particular session, and we're going to end up coming to Bakersfield. So it's not that long of a run. Realize these lights are not right next to each other. Lights are normally like, you see right here, this is red, it's the stop train, it's the Union Pacific Railroad. The last number deals with how fast it's going. That one says W for west. And again, the westbound south track must cross over to northbound tracks. But you just got to kind of learn which one. BNSF radio, channel 65. Northbound, southbound. You just got to kind of learn which one is which. On your main lines though, you pretty much want to go, like say here for example, and I've run this is Needles map. I've run this one many times. All your top tracks here, and this is pretty much through every one of them, are your westbound. Westbound. And the other ones are pretty much eastbound. Now if you look, you'll see the green, how they're set up, what they call fleeting, versus the other one are set up to go the other way. Now again, sometimes you have to come through and switch them, and you want to make sure you switch them back afterwards. Just kind of give you an idea. Like I said, this is really for advanced. If you want the challenge, even your controls are different. Your basic controls are different. Just kind of scrolling through, letting you take a little look here. You can actually click on these and go to the Pacific one that you're looking like. Here we'll go click on there. We're back to Mojave. You know, click here. We can go straight to Barstow. Barstow receiving. North End. Barstow departure, and EB to eastbound departure, so north and east. Southbound departure at Barstow. So I mean, you know, it's really wow. This one's facing west, this one's facing east. Not all of them will have that. Most of them don't have an north, south, east, or west behind it. I'm not sure why, but hit escape to get out of it. F3 to get back in. I won't be in here anyway. Let me show you one more thing here. The user's guides, like I said, I think I talked about it. Licensing menu options. Yeah, I did. So go to F1, and here's your main thing. You can freeze time, use daylight savings time. You can change it, put in a Pacific time. Or you can do your computer time. DS, if you use the external dispatcher board system, you want to turn that on. Otherwise, you can leave that off. I have my stuff pretty much maxed out, with the exception of the AI call signal. It'll watch what happened. If I turn this up to reasonable, you'll see it'll spam and spam. And I actually set that. It's in here somewhere. The time. You see, it's like, holy cow. I guess CSX means everything. Yeah, no, thank you. I just turn it off. I don't want to see all that. Your little cheat is your F7. What you need to do. How many total units in the world? I'm running Piglet Foamer because I'm still learning this myself. Once you get it all down and you're ready to get off into the plus, you'll want to switch that to the high seniority Hogger, which apparently the trains operate a little bit differently, and you know, the amount of work that you have to put into it to get it to go, to get it to stop, etc., etc. I've got everything here turned on except for detected cab only, audio, highlight walkway. You can turn that on and then say, for example, which I don't do, but I'm gonna hit the function 11 key. Now you see these little dots. As long as you're looking at them, you know, you just hit it again, and it'll put you up on there, and then you can kind of just walk around. Kind of get your way over there. Hit F11. See, I'm going this way. They turn green, so you can walk and do all this, but F12 to get back on the ground. It's more. It's definitely not like Dovetail's CSX heavy haul is. So function 1, I'm going to turn that back off right here. You can change your message color if you wanted to right here. The graphics, you can play this with 3 different monitors and it would divide it all out. I have everything turned on, but I can handle, my computer can handle it. My vertical sync is set to unlimited. Message fade out 10 seconds. That's what I have to set to, so all that up there. Otherwise, I think it's 30 seconds by default. You can go to crew, set your crew, put your name in there. You can do a random, rent a conductor, generate conductor name. I have it turned off. It's turned on by default. So I can actually just go in here and select, you know, who I want, give them a name. Same thing with your avatar right here. You can change and figure out who you want here. Go with him. Your load save options. Save as extra trains world. Save as extra board. Save the current player location where I'm at. If I click on, that's extra board. If I click on train, it saves the current player train. Click on world, and it saves trains, switches, and signal. So I can either do the position, I can save the current train, player train, which I think incorporates me as well, or I can go world, and it saves pretty much everything. Auto save, you can change this. I had to change this one to 30 minutes. There's no reason for it to auto save every 2 minutes, which is why it's by default. Keyboard layout. This is everything that you can do up in here, and you can remap your keyboard if you want to. If you don't know what to do, it's like train brake. Well, it's the N key. That's if you want to do full suppression, that's the right control plus the home. So if you look at your keyboard, left shift, left control, right shift, right control, plus whatever key you're hitting. Yeah, there's a lot. Increase your throttle and decrease your throttle, add, subtract. Your reverser is your insert and your delete button. Like I said, you can pretty much hang up everything. That your indie brake off is your page down, and indie brake full is page up. but that's right control page up for full. Or you can just go page up and do it incrementally. Same thing with all your other brakes and everything. Dynamic brake setup, turn it on and turn it off. And like I said, everything is, you can hang up what you learned pretty much at another game. Rail driver, if you have it, you can set it up in here. And then of course your license. Now make sure that you do license. I'm not going to click it because it'll show my license down here in the bottom left hand corner. But when you do get this, if you get it, be sure that you license it. You will regret it if you don't. Basically what happens, you'll start having little glitches. You will appear, your avatar will appear in world here as a pirate. Yes. As if to hint that you may have an illegal copy. Alright, so you left click on the train, and this one's already owned by an AI, so how do I get a hold of this train? This is the one that I gotta get, and I gotta pull it up here, park it, and then I gotta grab those two locomotives that were there and run it to the end of it, and then continue to take this on. Well, how do I do that? I want to say relinquish when stopped, and stop immediately. If you click delete, it'll delete the train. You don't want to do that. Okay, so I now have it, and it shows that it's running, of course. So you can just click here to stop the train. Same thing here, just stop them. Or, and then like you want to start them all, you can go start all, but I don't have my speakers up. Starting up, alarms are sounding. I don't know if you can hear that. And it's now running. Okay, so at this point, auto circuit breakers, auto MUDP, that's the dealing with the multiple trains. I can't think of I'm having a brain fart. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. Yeah. Anyway, endo train, auto endo train, and auto air brake. Now right here you can set your headlights. Make sure it should be run by default, but keep it there. Your dynamic braking normal, handbrake is applied. Your train symbol, that's the one that we need. And tagger, I'll get to that in a second. You can also refuel just by clicking on each of the locos and doing this. Or you can take it to a refueling yard, which they have, and run it over there and refuel it. So I'm just going to grab those four and refuel them real quick. Come back to here. Now the tagger, you can come in, notice that it changed yellow. That's this car, that's one I have, right here that I have. So I got 4 locomotives and piggybacks, and you can, you know, industry tags, turn them on and off and set them, and I mean, you can really change everything. How many horsepower per ton? This says 2.6 was 2,600 horsepower per ton. I mean, you can really get in here. The speed limit for this is 70. You can override it if you want to. And I'll do tutorials on all this. But now that we've got it started, we still got red lights. And I do have my headlights on. Let's see, H for bright, so that turned on my lower ones, and Shift H to turn them off. So dim, high, and then Shift H to reverse it. Okay. F11. No. Shift F. I mean, left control F11.
Local, what can I do for you?
Push you.
I don't see why not. BNSF 1574 do have permission to hold a bar on siding for switching over.
Put you inside.
That is correct, over. Hey, thank you, Cessna.
So anyway, it puts you, it's left control F11 will put you inside, F12 will put you outside, control F12 will throw you to the rear of the train. And yes, you do, you can manually set these up. The end of train, you can remove them. If you break your coupler, you have to fix it. You can actually open and close angle cocks and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's really complex. I can turn the industry tags on, control F8. It shows you the boxcar numbers, and you can actually look this up in your list and it'll tell you what exactly this is. Each one of these, of course, are different. If I press Control F8 again, it gives me the tag symbol of the destination, where it's got to go. So this one's going to Upper West Colton, to that train, where it's ending up going, or from, and then RV, where it's going. But anyway, it's all going with me down to the end. I can turn that back off. Left shift F8 turns your milepost tags on and off, where you can see. Again, control F12 and it put me back to the front. Control F12 the end, control F12 the front. Now that's left control. Left control F11 again puts me back inside. Okay, and there's the old lazy fart sitting over there. Pressing the function 3 key, and since I know I'm over here, now you see I am red. This is me. Finding yourself in this game can be quite tricky. If you're on foot, what you'd want to do is run over one of these computer-controlled switches, and it'll blink, and that's how you know where you are. This particular one, right here, SP Southern Pacific 8162, and doing 0 miles per hour. That's me. My switch is set to normal, which I need to change that because I need to come over. So I'm going to left click with my mouse. See how to switch to R. Hit the escape key. Oh yeah. And since I'm on this line, it's the Union Pacific Channel 14 dispatcher tone 54. So I'll go switch 14 and wait. And it switches to Channel 14 dispatcher pound 54. And right here you can increase and decrease your volume. Go back to switch. Sometimes the dispatcher thing will work, sometimes it don't. In world, now when you're playing a multiplayer, it actually sends a signal out. And if you press F3, you're not going to see any of this in a multiplayer. You're not. That's strictly up to the dispatcher. He sees all this. You wouldn't see it in real life in a locomotive, so why would you see it here? Kind of thing. So you would tone them or ping them so that you know you could get their attention, and they come back, and you'd hit the tab key and talk. I'm not in it, so hitting tab for me right now doesn't do anything. Basically, your basic layout is pretty much the same. Your indies down here, your train brakes, your dynamic, your throttle. Some of these switches work, some don't. You can't click and drag. So you cannot click and drag. So you actually have to learn. Now, but you can come over and like turn your sander on, turn your sander off, and it'll tell you on the screen here. So I click the sander, and you see it says sand on. Got the parking brake on, turn sander off. This does have an alerter. I have not used it yet. So again, this is very advanced. So if you're really wanting a challenge, this is the way to go. Alright, so let me take a look here. F12, jump out of my train real quick, run down. This one should be set to switch over. It is. I just set it. I'm going to run down here. Oh wait, no, I wanted to go straight. I gotta bring this one over. Okay. So let me go back to F3. Let me, whoops, didn't hit it too many times. F3, let me switch this back. Now I can right click on it and make it, it'll turn you can't see that. Would mean I can control it manually, and then right click again to get it to return. You always want to return your switches back. So I'm going to run down this track here. I'm still set to go straight, set to go straight, set to go straight, set to go straight. Okay, so why do I have a red light? Oh, I know. So I'm going to pull this train way down there. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to grab these locals. There's 3 of them. I only need these first 2. And you know what? I might just grab all 3 of them, slam them together, and bring them in. This train here is waiting on me, so I might just go ahead and let it go first. It's an AI train. Now you don't have to run. You can always, if you're too far away, just go transfer to my train, but I'm going to put you right there, and then control F11 to put you back in. This guy is stopped, so I'm actually thinking I'm going to hit that. Click here. I want to give him a yellow. That will allow him to go ahead and proceed, and it'll switch back. Again, as with any train, it takes a while. There you go. You hear the horn and the bell. It takes a while because you got to get the brake pressure. He's got a green over 2 reds. Now, what does that mean? A green over 2 reds is clear. So you have to know what that means. So he is clear to proceed, and he's going to start rolling on. And he's a long train, so if I hit left shift plus the function 12 button, that 12 button, right mouse, I can come up and I can hit the control and zoom down here. Now look, we got another train back behind him because he was held up. Sadly, you can't go below, and you're like, oops, didn't mean to do that. Well, what happens? What to do? Just hit your function 12 key, the straight one. Now here's another one being held up. Is that another one? No, he's a really long one because he's got locals in the middle. Oh yeah, and locals on the end. Whoa, he can get pretty fast. So anyway, what's going to happen is that train's going to get through here, and that light's going on. Oh, it's because he's in it now. It's going to go back to red. Let me hit the function 12, put me on the ground. I'm no longer flying, and it'll stay red. Now, if I had changed that instead, all these dots mean that's all part of the train. That's the head end. This is all part of the train. If I had changed that to a green instead of a yellow, it would have opened up traffic, but this would still have stayed red all stop until this train cleared the next block. Once it cleared the next block, it would have worked as normal. It would have switched to a yellow. And then if it had cleared 2 blocks before the next train got here, it's cleared to a green, and so on, so on. It work as normal. Being that I just did it to a yellow, that means it's going to switch to green, clear it. Once the train starts to go through, it'll switch back to red, and it will stay there until manually told to do it again. Don't do that. But yeah, you can't walk through the train. That's the only reason I did that, was to show. And here comes the end of that train. I can hit the function 3. I know there's another one. Anything that's back off, you're not going to see on this map. You can find them on the next map. Here's this one here. He's making his way in up to this light, so he's waiting. If you're on sidings, you won't show up on the main map. Your dot will be blue, so your dot will be blue, and that's it. So we need to go ahead and start setting these up. Apparently these guys are stuck. Let's go ahead and change that. Let's give them a green aspect. Give them a green aspect. This way the lights will automatically change, and they'll be able to continue on. Now here, I got greens in both directions. Normal meaning it's going to go straight through. Okay, well, not sure how the trains will handle that. But just a quick overview. If you really are heavily into the trains, this guy should be pulling up here. Yeah, see, he's doing 10 miles an hour. He's trying to make his way here. If you're really wanting to get something in depth, this is what you want to do. This is the one you're going to want. Like I said, throw away everything you learned. Make sure to put that switch back. Throw away everything you learned about all the other train simulators. Control F11. F5 will kill my air brakes. Okay, you can actually switch through the tabs. C, 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 C. And then hitting the Z button and Z again puts you over to this one so that you can change it. Hitting Z button twice puts you back over here. So I like to have this, but I'm only reading. Well, I don't have any behind me, so that's why. Okay. Gives me my information, my brakes, my engine power, my train number. I am 5,954 feet long with 2.6 thousand horsepower per ton. The total ton of 6,489 tons. Number unit 65. Dynamic braking axles is 32, and the max train speed I can do with 70. Total axles loads. Not sure what MTYs are. The symbol of the train and a TOV, which I'm not sure. Now you can hit Shift N. I'm hearing a track detector talking. I'm not sure why. There was a UP track detector going off, and I guess it was bleeding through across the radio here, and I was hearing it. But anyway, it was dim, so it wasn't for me. Okay, so this track speed is 45. The next signal approach, previous. Hit Shift B, it's the left, and you can see I got right now brakes are on. I got 4 engines or locomotives, 4 E's. Shift C gives you your reverser, how fast, MR, main reservoir, equalizing reservoir, brake pipe, cubic feet per minute. I think it was what that means. What knot you're in, and your brake cylinders, and your coupler in thousands of pounds. So right now my coupler load is 36,000 pounds, and I'm sitting still. Shift C, Shift X, gives you your sim frames, the outside temperature simulated, what heading you are. Now this is let's step out the train. Okay, so right now I'm looking at the train, and you see I'm heading 252. That's west. If I turn, you can see I'm changing direction. So right here I'm basically facing north, right? Facing north. Okay, there is no way to tell outside of the sun of which way you are facing unless if you use the Shift X. That's the left shift plus the X button, because there is no world map. There's no world map. The only map you have are these. So where am I? Which way am I facing? Well, let's find out. I have no idea. I know this is where I'm at. But let's say, for example, I didn't know. Okay, I mean, I could actually relinquish that train, but what I would do is, this is a computer-aided switch. So what I can do is I can go stand on this switch, hit the function 3 button, and you see it blinking right there? That tells me where I am. That's how you can find yourself if you don't know the layout, where you are. I happen to know that this is my train, but otherwise the printing would be white like these. So right there I am. that's how I know where I am. Now, which direction am I facing? Am I facing north, south, east, or west? Well, that's where this comes in. Pretty much facing northwest. The tile X and Z, I haven't found where that comes in at yet. And again, as you change your direction, looking around, it changes. Originally, I would have to look at what time it was, where the sun is, and figure out which way I was facing. So I'll control F11. Now you see, it says heading 0. Well, if I look around in the train, you'll see it changes. So this is in relation to the train, which way I am facing. And yes, you can click on these switches here. Not all of them, but you can click on a few of them, I believe. There you go. You can kill the engine this way, but you really can't do a whole lot, not like CSX. Alrighty, so let me step back out and come back, make sure I didn't kill the train. It is running. The DPU, there's that train that was way back there. These are set up as slaves, and it's these don't really matter, the DPU, which way they're facing, because these are all slaves off of this one. Now your other ones you put in the back, that will matter, which way the DPU is set up. So handbrakes are released. So anyway,
Okay,
let's go ahead and 951. I actually need to cut this off right here, and then on the next one we will go ahead and shift F5 to put the parking brake back on. And again, shift plus whatever to cancel that up top, all the way up to N. Shift M doesn't do anything. So we'll end it here, and we'll come back in the next video. I got some things I got to get ready to do. It's almost 10 o'clock now, real life. And we'll continue on with this here.